second depressive shock. That's bad enough. Oh, Bathsheba, I cheated on my husband. How could I be so stupid? Why did I go to see King David? I know I should have known better. That's bad enough. But now, depressive shock number 2. I guess I got to get my ribbon in my Bible here. So, looks like there's no contact. I don't know, about maybe a month and a half later, I was talking to my wife. I said, well, how soon does a woman actually know she's pregnant? And so she sends word in verse 5, the woman conceived and sent word to David, I'm pregnant. This is what we call an unwanted pregnancy. An unwanted pregnancy. When women have unwanted pregnancies, they're not jumping with joy. Talk about depression. Why did I sleep with that guy from the bar? I don't even know him. He's ridiculous, and I'm carrying his baby. My wife and I used to, years ago, we would go on Saturday with people from our church, and we would go to the 2 abortion clinics down in Pittsburgh. So I have a saying here. Why is it that every time, why is it when you have an unwanted pregnancy, often it ends with the death of an innocent person? If Bathsheba got pregnant today, if this story happened today, what would they be doing instead of killing Uriah? Well, don't answer that. It's amazing how even Christians, even followers of the Lord, when they find themselves with unwanted pregnancy, the depression, the fear, the scariness overcomes their walk with the Lord, and they wind up doing something because of an unwanted pregnancy. Oh, by the way, you think I'm talking like whatever? I'm talking about 3-4 million women every year in the United States have an unwanted pregnancy. When we would counsel on the sidewalks, so every Saturday about 30 women would be heading in to get abortions. They were always being dragged in by their boyfriends or by their parents. We never once, in all the years we did, we never once saw a husband dragging his wife in. It was always, and the girls would talk to us. And by the way, I would say 98% of all the young girls that were being dragged into the abortion clinic were crying like you cannot believe. You want to talk about depression? Just go see. And we would try to talk to them, and they say, it's an unwanted, I'm in college. I don't know who the guy is. The guy's a loser. He's a drug dealer. They all have, but talk about depression and down. And look, I'm pro-life, but I have a heart. I understand how women can get them. I'm like, men, what is wrong with you? Why are you sleeping around with women and putting them in that situation? And women don't. So there's the second shock, an unwanted pregnancy. Now, David concocts an idea 4,000 years ago. And this is I think this is interesting. It's called paternity fraud. Gail, you're a lawyer. So you know what paternity fraud is? It's one form of misattributed paternity or paternal discrepancy. Specifically, paternity fraud is the intentional misidentification of a child's biological father by its mother. Roughly 5% of moms commit this fraud worldwide. There are some countries that's as high as 30%, and there are some countries that are as low as 2 or 3%. This is women, oh no, I got pregnant by this loser. And she quickly finds another boyfriend and then says, oh, you're the father. And he doesn't know any better. Or it's the wife, she cheated, she got pregnant, and then she gets her husband involved. Now, I know this sounds so weird, and the laws are in flux in the United States because in the last 20 years with DNA testing, paternity fraud is getting more exposed than ever before, and the courts and the government are at a loss what to do when, do you remember me? I started the sermon and said about if men were stealing money from the wife, hiding fraud. What were you women going to do? Shoot them. What do you think a man should do that raises a child for 20 years, then to find out that the wife knew all along it wasn't his child and just used them for all the money and support for that child? How would you feel if you were that man? We don't shoot. Yeah, okay. So, look, we don't have time. Do you know what David tries to do? He gets Uriah, right, back from the battlefield. He tells Joab, hey, send Bathsheba's husband home. And so Uriah says, hey, go home and be with your wife. And Uriah, when the Israelites were in battle, they considered a spiritual thing with the Lord, and they would not have relations with their wives. So Uriah did not sleep with his wife. David finds out, and then he gets him drunk the next night and says, now go home and sleep with your wife. You understand what David and Bathsheba are planning? They're planning paternity fraud. What Bathsheba's going to do is then call up Uriah a couple of months later. Uriah, you know that when you were on furlough and I got pregnant, you're having a baby. Oh, it comes 2 months early. Well, premature births happen. They were actually planning paternity fraud 4,000 years ago. Nothing's new under the sun, right?